Hi everyone, Keith here. Let's talk about burnout. Now, burnout is not a weakness, it's not laziness, and it's not you failing to cope. Burnout is what happens when the mind and the body carry stress for so long that the nervous system eventually says, I just can't keep doing this at this pace. And the frightening thing about burnout is it rarely arrives all at once. It creeps in quietly. At first, you may just feel a bit tired. Then you're emotionally drained. Then the things you once loved begin to feel heavy. The laughter becomes a little forced. The motivation begins to fade. And you start surviving instead of living. You begin to answer your messages a little bit slower. You feel more detached from people. Your patience becomes a little bit thinner. You become irritable, exhausted, numb. And sometimes the hardest part is you don't even recognise yourself anymore. Because burnout doesn't just affect energy, it actually affects your identity. So just think about that for a minute. Because from a mental health perspective, what burnout does is it actually affects your entire biopsychosocial system. Your body begins to produce prolonged stress hormones like cortisol and adrenaline. And your sleep begins to suffer. Your concentration weakens. Your nervous system stays in survival mode. And when the nervous system stays activated for too long, the brain struggles to feel safe. That's why burnout can look like anxiety. It can look like an emotional numbness. It can appear to be like a low mood. You can get brain fog. Panic can set in. You become withdrawn. And you feel disconnected from yourself and others. Sometimes people say things like, I don't know what's wrong with me. I don't recognise who I am. But often, the truth is, they've been strong for so long that there hasn't been time to recover. So why does burnout happen? Because many of us were taught that our worth is measured in productivity. We believe that we need to keep going, keep fixing, keep helping, keep carrying, keep smiling. And especially in the caring professions, parenting, relationships, or simply trying to survive in modern life can take its toll. We become so busy proving our value to the world that we stop listening to what our own mind says. We stop listening to what our body is begging us for. Things like rest, support from friends, family and others, stillness, positive connections, permission to simply be human. And it's forgetting those things that affects us the most. But here's something important. Burnout is not only caused by doing too much. Sometimes it comes from carrying too much emotionally. It can be unprocessed grief, constant responsibility, walking on eggshells, people pleasing, feeling unseen, never quite feeling you're good enough. And that emotional weight slowly begins to build over time. And the soul gets tired too, as a result. So, how do we actually combat burnout and recognise it? First, we have to stop glorifying exhaustion. Being burnt out is not a badge of honour. You do not have to destroy yourself to prove to others that you care. Second, we need to learn boundaries. Boundaries are not punishment, they're protection. Every time you say yes to everything while abandoning yourself, your nervous system keeps score. So that's why it's important that sometimes healing begins with one simple sentence. I can't carry this on my own anymore. Third, we reconnect with regulation. We need to understand how to regulate our lives. And that can be simple things like sleep or hydration, movement, going out, keeping fit, sunlight, just breathing properly, moments of silence, positive human connection. And I know these sound simple, but it's the simple things that regulate an overly nervous system. You know, your brain is an organ, it's not a machine. Your brain needs time to recover. And finally, with all that in mind, we need to learn self-compassion. Not the fluffy kind, the real kind. The kind where you stop speaking about yourself as if you're the enemy. Because many people experiencing burnout are already exhausted. And then they attack themselves for being exhausted. So is it any wonder that your mind struggles as a result of that? So, if you're listening to this today and you do feel burnt out, hear me clearly. You are not broken. You're just overloaded. And there is a difference. You deserve rest without guilt. You deserve support without shame. You deserve a life of peace, not something you only experience once you've completed a task or have completely collapsed. So today, my friends, drink the water and take the walk. Answer fewer battles. Breathe a little deeper. And remember this: the sun does not burn itself out. The sun does not burn itself out trying to shine for everyone else. The sun burns itself to sustain itself. So neither should you try to do that. If you're going to shine, shine for you. That's important. I'm Keith, mental health nurse. And if you think someone today is struggling with this, please share it. Thank you for listening.